says preparing to go live, setting up your meal. This takes a little bit of time. Okay, so we are live.
Okay.
All right. That
I have
was a
not been
surprise.
I have not been live for a week.
Yes.
Just about 2 hours ago, my internet came back.
Oh my gosh. I can't even
So,
imagine like what that would be like.
you don't know what is worse. I mean, the first thing that happened was the storm comes through. And then, of course, the big first thing that happened is I fell and cracked my head open.
Yeah.
That was great. So then Hal goes, I should take you to the hospital. I go, no, how are we going to get there? The roads are flooded out. I mean, you can't see the road. It's under so much water. So then we did out the storm, and then we hear this big thud on the side of the house. He goes, something fell. The house been hit. So, of course, we have hurricane shutters that are good up to 140 miles an hour winds. So now he wants to go outside to see. I go, no, wait till it passes. You can't fix it. And the most people die during the storm because they walk outside during the storm and get hit by a branch or step on a live wire or they do something silly. And I thought it will not. So anyway, he was all worried about that. Of course, we see the water coming up, and it did not come into the house, which was good. So then we still had power. Well, then the storm passes. And of course, then we undo and we come out, and we see the trees everywhere, stuff's down in the back, fences down. And we look over and there's a big tree in our front yard that fell over. And there's a transformer box in front of it. And it hit that.
Yep.
The power was still on. But now the water main broke and the internet went out. All the cables that was there came up. So no internet and no water. So we called a plumber, but the power's still going. So we called a plumber. Plumber comes out. He rehooks us up. So 2 days later, we get water. So then Hal said something about called the power company, like that day, or I forget the day. Anyway, he calls them, and they go, oh, that transformer box has been crushed. Stay 10 feet away from it. Don't go near it. So guess what they then did? Shut off the power. So the whole block goes out. So now we're sitting here in the dark. Of course, we have a generator. So now what do you go hook up to the generator? Here's the most important things. The refrigerator, of course. You don't want to lose any of your food. A fan, because it's Florida. It's hot. And my coffee pot. Because I could charge my phone in the car.
Priorities, man. Priorities.
Had to charge my iPad, my phone, like, okay, no, nothing. I mean, my computer is black. Nothing's turned on. There's a fan going. When I needed a cup of coffee, I would unplug the fan and put in the coffee with drip. Okay, plug back in the fan. And then, of course, it only takes this white gas, which is this ethanol-free gas. And that gas is only sold I learned all this. I didn't know any of it. It's only sold at certain pumps. Well, guess what? So now we're trying to find the gas. Where can we find the gas? So we got the phone back because the phone went out. So we got the phone back. So now he's searching on the internet. Where can you buy the white gas? So then he calls them. Oh no, we're out. When do you expect the delivery? We don't know. So we found this little marathon station in New Smyrna Beach, which maybe was 15 miles from the house. And we went down there and we got some gas. So you can run the generator. And then you get it. You can, you fill out these red buckets. Well, that's only enough to run it for like a day. So we're out of power, and we're just dying. I mean, so I'm watching my iPad from my hotspot on my phone. So at least we could get that. Of course, then the power is sucking down. The water was hooked back up. So finally, what happened next? Oh, so then finally, the other day in the middle of the night, of course, you're sleeping and there's no fans. I had no fan in the room. So, because the cord wouldn't go from the generator to the room. So I had, so then finally about 3 o'clock in the morning, Hal comes into my room, my room, and he says, "Wake up! The guess who's here? Guess who's here at 3 in the morning? Who's here?" The power guys are out there working on the transformer box. And if you're friends with me on YouTube, I posted that. So they finally the power comes back on. Well, now because they broke the cables for the internet wasn't back. So now at least I have power. I can turn on my computer, but I can't. Everything I do is in the cloud. How am I going to do it? So of course I have Mary, who's a great backup. And Donna was going to help me too. So I have backup plans, and I could sporadically get on. I don't know what happened. And so Mary did the payroll, and then finally this morning, Friday, the guy came and dug a hole and hooked up the cable. We had a tree guy out there taking out the root ball for the tree, and we had. I tell you what, it's been a whole week that we've been dealing with this. A whole
I
week.
just looked it up, and I'm like, oh, the last post was like 8 days ago. I'm like, oh
yeah.
my
So we
gosh.
apologize. You have blame Milton. I was supposed to go to Reframe this week with Hector, which I was really excited about because I went last year and it was a fabulous conference. And I called him and I said, I can't make it. I mean, it's a mess here. And, I don't know about you. I'm probably I do. But anytime I go to a conference, I get as much stuff done the week before I go.
Mm-hmm.
So when I come back, at least I can relax while I'm there and just focus on why I went. Well, we were going to leave on Wednesday, I think. Kathy Grosskirth was going to drive me down. We were going to drive together. Well, this happened so it's like I can't get anything done before I go.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel I could go and really focus because now Hal has to deal with everything and blah, blah. So I didn't go. He was gracious enough to say he would save my ticket for another time. And, I tell you what, he has the right mindset. I think that we all should have. He has a generous mindset in that he didn't say, well, you missed it, you're out your ticket. He said, no, I understand. Well, we'll hold the ticket. I mean, I think we should all be like that. I mean,
yeah, we know others that would just say, oh, forget it.
Too bad you didn't come, you're out. I mean,
yeah.
And I think if we did that with our customers, they, like somebody wants to cancel. And now if you've done the work, then they should pay the bill. That's not what I'm saying. But if they had we had rental property, and if someone gets a job transfer that something happens where they just can't afford it, okay, give us 30 days notice. I mean, just pay your last month and you go ahead and leave. I'm not going to sue you for the rest of the lease. I can get another tenant. I mean, so and that's one thing I really like about Hector, and that he speaks of, is his generosity of spirit. And I think many of our colleagues that we deal with are like that. And I think that makes a difference in attracting really good people to you. If you're always worrying about losing a buck, and I think then people will try to be stealing from you all the time. But if you're generous with your time and your knowledge and everything, that doesn't mean be a doormat.
Yes.
I think that it all comes back to you.
Yeah.
I just think it does. I mean, just be kind. That's why I love Cindy, Bookkeeping Buds, Cindy Schrader's group. Be kind. Doesn't cost nothing to be kind. And, one of the great things about hurricanes is you get to know your neighbors. You get to see who are your nice neighbors. In fact, we had a big queen palm in the backyard fell down. Well, the neighbor behind us comes over and says to Hal, I'll help you stand that up. And Hal goes, wow, that's really nice of you. He goes, look, you're a good neighbor. You never get mad when we have big, you never get mad when we throw parties, or those people in the neighborhood that call the police on us. I'm like, really? I mean, I'm behind you and I don't hear these parties. I said, well, I did tell him, I said, I might have to call the police on you. Really? What? You don't invite me. I've never been invited. So, but, just be kind. I mean, he just came over with his truck and pulled the tree back up and then staked it down. So, because, palm trees don't have big root balls to, you know, like the oak trees that we have in the front. That came down. But so you get to know your neighbors. So that's always nice. So that's a kind of a benefit. But the ones that are, coming over and helping and what can I get for you? Like, because I had a coffee pot, I went to the neighbors and said, do you need coffee? Because I got some. The what like, oh, I would, yes, please. That's how I would feel if I didn't have coffee. But we planned for the coffee. Hal takes very good care of me. Okay, I got it so your coffee pot can be used. Well, I don't know if he does it really for me or for him because he knows what it's like if I don't get my coffee. I was like the one time we were driving around and at the end of the day, it was like 4 or 5 o'clock. And I said to him, I just don't feel good. Something's wrong. Well, do I need to take you to urgent care? Do I need to call the doctor? I said, no, don't do that. I mean, Hal goes to the doctor if he has a hangnail. I don't go unless I'm at death's door. No, I'll be fine. I don't know what the problem is. Well, time goes by a little bit and he goes, oh, how did you like that coffee I made for you this morning? And I went, what color bag did you use? Well, I used that green bag. Take me to Starbucks. So here I had gone all day long thinking I'm drinking coffee and I had decaf all day long. Why do they even make decaf? I don't know. So
there you go.
Took me to Starbucks and I was fine.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was the week. Oh, and then our condo in New Smyrna Beach. I haven't talked about that. The roof blew off of that.
That was your safe place to go when your other
because we were going to go.
down.
Okay, well, we'll go to New Smyrna, which is maybe 30 minutes away, and at least they have air conditioning, and I have Wi-Fi, and I can go there. And so we called Larry, who's the on-site maintenance guy, a wonderful guy. And he goes, don't bother coming. And, rough old guy. Hal goes, how come? The roof blew off. There's no air conditioners because all the air conditioners were on top of the roof. They're all in the ocean now. So there's no roof on I mean, the wood is there.
Yeah.
But none of the other, they have to, I don't know what, I'm not a builder. I'll have to ask, Tanya Schulte. Tanya, tell me how roofs are. So
they have to basically strip it down and make sure all the panels are back in. I've been through this. Then they have to then they'll start to put all the new stuff back in, and it has to be up to the new codes, and then you can get your ACs put in, and it has to be up to the new codes.
I tell you, it's going to be months. And then they said, okay, well, now because it's so humid, we're going to put humidifiers in your units so they don't get mold in them.
Yeah. Yes.
But what good news was, again, we went over there and we got new neighbors that moved in next door. And this was the funniest thing. We also have a house in Marco Island. So he was talking, I used to work in Marco Island. And we said, oh, really? We have a house there. And he goes, I lived in a place you probably never heard of. Well, what was the address? And Hal knows addresses because of his garage selling. He goes, it was 240 Seaview Court. Hal goes, what unit number? Because we owned it 240 Seaview Court. We have the wrap. I mean, it was just like old home week. And this guy worked for Homeland Security, and he was a very interesting guy. And so he was telling us when he bought his unit, he looked up the serial numbers of all of the GE appliances to find out when they were built. I'm thinking, wow, this guy is the guy you want on your side when you're doing so. But he was very nice. We met him and his wife, wonderful people. So we got to know the new neighbors, which was great. I mean, so it was quite the adventure. And then, of course, I posted on my Facebook page, and now it's become a viral hashtag, Hal in a towel.
Yep. So, if you guys have not seen her Facebook,
you have to go see Hal in a towel.
Hal in a towel.
And let me tell you how that started.
Fun.
At 2 hurricanes ago, I did a Facebook Live of the damage we were seeing as that was coming in the water. And I did it around, and there's Hal comes out, and I started it. I think I went up, and there he is standing in his towel, and he goes, hello, everybody. Well, at Appy Camp, somebody I said about the hurricane coming. He goes, I remember that hurricane video you played with Hal in his towel. So I said, oh yeah. So show it to me. So a lot of people saw it at Appy Camp and they thought it was hilarious.
Mhm.
So then when this all happened, I thought, well, wouldn't it be funny if I said I posted my first one was it's not a hurricane unless I post a picture of Hal in a towel. Well, it went crazy. So I thought,
Yeah.
okay, I said, Hal, we got to capitalize on this new hashtag Hal in a towel. So, so that's how that whole thing started. And I think I might like to continue it because he's in his towel all the time. Somebody asked, I think, how many, doesn't he need to wash? I go, no, he has stacks of these things. He has one for every day of the month and then some. I think Megan Tarnow asked me that question.
Yep. Yeah,
So it
yeah.
was
And it's the
quite.
safety yellow towel too.
Oh
So,
yes, and he has a safety towel. And then I thought of this. My dad, every time my dad always would wear yellow shirts, bright yellow shirts.
Mhm.
And I always tease Hal. I said, I married my father. I mean, Hal and my dad are very much alike. So then I thought, here, somebody said about the yellow towel. I said, my God, I'm married again. My dad would wear yellow shirts. Now you wear a yellow towel. I mean, I can't get away from it. so, so Hal and his yellow towels, always his yellow towels. But anyway, I'm glad things seem to be back to normal. Now I have a whole 2 weeks worth of work to catch up on. And
Yep.
I've been having great FOMO watching the pictures from Hector's conference, thinking, oh, I wasn't there, and Hal did say, if you really want to go ahead down. I just didn't feel comfortable leaving him by himself with all this whole mess to deal with. And then I wouldn't have been able to focus properly. And then, of course, in a week, we leave for QuickBooks Connect.
Yeah, Intuit Connect. Oh,
Oh, sorry. Yes, Intuit Connect.
got to get the name right now. Branding.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm getting ready for that. So I'm gearing up for that. And yeah, I think I got registered at all the parties. I have to go through it again this weekend to make sure. Not that I will go to all of them because some
Right.
of
And
them
I
don't
have to
start
tell
till
you,
9 o'clock.
Donna is taking very good care of me.
Yeah.
She goes, I've registered you. If it comes in, I've registered you too. Thank you.
Yes, I was registering Deb and myself and my son so we could be at everything. I'm just, as they're coming in and people are sending them to me, I'm like, I got to make sure we go here. I got to make sure we do this. At least register for everything, whether we do it or
Right.
not. I'm telling you, the ones that start at 9 o'clock are very, very unlikely that I will be there.
At 9 o'clock at night.
Yes.
If I'm still awake, I go show up and leave, because I
Yeah.
don't drink. I'm not a drinker. And people that, well, are you an alcoholic? No, I'm just too
No.
damn cheap to drink.
Yes.
you know, if I'm out to dinner and they go, you want a cocktail? And I look at the price, $18. I could buy 3 pieces of cake for that.
Yes. Not anymore. That's the cake price
Yeah,
too.
but I'd rather have a piece of cake than an
I
alcohol.
know. So yeah,
But
no, I'm not going for the alcohol or any of that stuff. I'm just going to, meet people, see people,
I get
re-engage with
inspired
people.
from a
Yeah.
whole nother
Mhm.
year
Yeah.
of seeing my friends, getting inspired, what's coming up. I
Mhm.
always think it's fun. They do the big Intuit thing about what we're doing. And then, okay, well, when's it starting?
Waiting for a few of those
We're
from a few
waiting.
years ago. Sign up here. They put up the QR code. Sign up and we'll send you an email when it
Yeah, you'll be
starts.
the
I'm still
first to
waiting for
find
that
out. Well,
email.
I'm still waiting.
Yeah. For like 5 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was
Those
like
are
the
always
fixed
fun.
asset thing or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, there's been a few. There's
Yeah.
been a few that have been like that.
But at least
So,
they're trying. I mean, at least
yeah,
they're,
it
the,
is what it is.
yeah.
Yeah, it is. And every year they're going to do that. And this year, they've got this enterprise
Yeah.
suite coming up.
I'm anxious
So,
to hear about that. I have a couple
so am I.
clients
I
I
want to
think
see
could
more of
benefit
it.
from that
I'd like to
because,
see more of that. That could be another sales opportunity going down the line,
well, I think what's
for
nice
me.
is, right
Yeah.
now with QuickBooks Online, if you have a client with multiple companies,
Mhm.
they need multiple QBO files. Like if you have
Mhm.
a desktop file, you can do with your license, it's not limited to one company. You could have 100 on there if you wanted
Yeah.
with your license. So with this enterprise, I think they're fixing that problem.
And
And then you
more.
can do
I think and more.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
intercompany transactions, which is nice because I mean,
Oh my
even if you have
gosh.
multiple desktops, I do have one that has 4, and we're always doing, the do to, do from has to match the do to, do from on the other one. It's
Mm-hmm.
extremely complicated. So you're always, so if it was within one piece of software, I think it would be good. Or I was thinking maybe it would be good. I have another client who has a farm and he has another business, and all of these businesses and subsidiaries of businesses. So it's difficult for the tax, to gather all of this data.
Mm-hmm.
And but now we can keep it in, in its own, in one silo with separate. I don't know. I think it will be good. It's
I think
something
it's
else to
great.
learn.
Yeah.
And again, I think it's a sales opportunity for us
Mm-hmm.
to learn it, because I think the AI is coming on. So we as accountants, I think, have to start learning more
Yes.
analysis and that kind of thing. I
Yep.
mean, I think this whole profession is changing. It's no
Yeah,
more green eye
definitely.
shades and green
Definitely.
ledger paper.
Yeah, no more ledger paper. No more putting the transactions in manually anymore. That's going away. The more I think this is like this enterprise suite is a great opportunity for us to reinvent ourselves and market to people who can use that. So I had a client a couple of years ago. They ended up shutting down their businesses anyway. That would have been perfect for this because we had
Right.
so many intercompany transactions going all over the place because they made everything complicated. It didn't have to be that way, but that's what they like to do. Um, and this would just be such an opportunity. I'm barely scraping the surface on what it's all about. I didn't get to watch the thing that they had this week on it. I watched a little bit of one last week of what it's capable of doing, but I think they're only scratching the surface right now. And they always do everything lean anyway, lean startups all the time.
Yeah.
And then they throw it out there and test out what'll work and what doesn't, and they get feedback. And that's kind of the way that Intuit does stuff anyway.
Well,
But
I know as accountants,
yeah,
we're always
yeah.
complaining. They're changing it again. Blah. Yep.
Yes. Oh
I
my
think if accountants
gosh.
had their way, we'd still be using an abacus or a chisel and a
Yes.
slate.
Yes.
You know,
And they're the worst. They don't like change. I'm like,
we
oh
don't
my
like
gosh.
change.
So bringing that up, so this week we saw that the Pro Advisor program is going under a new name, really. I think they're calling it the Pro Advisor Academy. But nevertheless, new badges that say level 1, level 2, they say Intuit on them. It's matching to their Intuit Academy that they have
Right.
and the badges that they use there. Well, they sent out emails. I don't think those emails were supposed to go out, but Credily sent out the emails because that's the platform that big companies use for certifications. I probably have like 20 or 30 through them. People freaked out. Us
Well,
bookkeepers.
and I kind of understand, because
Yeah.
we get these emails about
Yeah.
this, and we're so used to everybody's a thief, everybody's a scam artist, everybody's a crook, that if you do something nice for it, you make a change like this, unless you warn people, they're going to think, okay, scam, is this a scam? And they're,
Yeah.
so, but I mean, I don't know how many I got. I kept clicking, yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah.
You know,
So yeah, I saw them come through and I'm like, oh, they finally switched over to Credily because everybody else has. They're kind of late to the game. And actually their tax academy does it already. And then I'm
okay.
trying to to explain to people who are freaking out about it and they're messaging me. I'm like, oh yeah, this is a legit thing. Look them up. That's a legit. I was showing them mine. I'm like, this is how you get certificates in the corporate world. So, people, well, I've never heard of it. I'm like, well, then, they've been around for quite a while. That just because you didn't hear of it doesn't mean it's not legit. Uh,
Right.
sorry, but yeah,
I think though they could have sent
they
out
could
a
have done it
thing.
better. Of course, they kind of, they're
Oh,
not
well,
really great at communication once again. And I constantly get emails telling me that all kinds of things are going on with my QBO accounts and how accounts were been disconnected, and that was like weeks ago. And I fixed it since then. But it is what it is. It's a big company. They're trying AI. It doesn't always work for them.
well, I
It's
do
not
think
always
that,
working.
they don't do things. I don't, it's kind of like being married to Hal. Hal sometimes makes me mad,
Yeah.
but he doesn't make me mad on purpose.
Yeah.
Meaning, and I always annoy him. And the big thing that annoys him about me is I will take a cup, and here's one right here, a coffee cup that I'll make a cup of coffee and I leave it I leave it somewhere in the house. And he comes to me and he goes, "Can't you pick up your coffee cups?" And I go, "I don't even think about it." So I think, first off, I think to myself, who does it bother? It bothers him. If he wants to
Mhm.
fix it, fix your own problem. I said, if I see it, I'll pick it up. I don't
Yeah.
worry about it. But I think, is that the hill he wants to die on, me leaving a coffee cup around the house? I mean, I don't do it to make him mad.
Yeah.
It just happens. So I don't think Intuit does it to make us mad. They forgot, they have a different agenda. They're a big company. I don't know. They've made me a millionaire. So I have a soft spot in my heart for them.
Yep. And
You
what
know,
you got to remember is they are a software at their core. They are a software company.
right, right,
So they have a different agenda than we as bookkeepers and accountants and tax preparers have. They
right,
literally do have a different agenda. They're
right,
selling a software subscription and they're doing the things that they need to do that.
right,
So yeah, for a long time early on in my career, I would get like really upset and I'm like, this is really stupid. I know what they are. I know what they're doing. I know why they're doing it because in the end, it comes down to what's the stock price
right,
and making the shareholders happy, of which I've been one for many, many years. And I'm
right,
I love my stock. I love my Intuit stock. Oh my gosh, love it. That's my retirement. But
right. And I know people want to switch all the time. I'm going to leave Intuit.
yeah.
Okay, feel free. I mean, go ahead. It's free country.
Yeah, I hear those same exact people every year.
It's kind of like, again, my how annoys me sometimes, but am I going to leave him? I mean, no. I mean, go to therapy. I mean,
Yes. Reconcile with it and move on. If it just so horrible for you, then actually leave. And I
yeah,
know a few people who have, but most of the people that every time there's a price increase, I'm going to find something else, go find
everything
something
goes
else
up.
better. Yeah. And you're not going to find anything better. You're going to
Yeah,
find things that'll do things that maybe you don't need it to do. You don't need QuickBooks because now you're going to do it a different way. That's okay too. But like it's going to go up next year. There's going to be another price increase. I can
right.
guarantee it.
Well, I know I looked at one software company one time and their big thing is
Hmm.
we're cheaper than QuickBooks. And first off, when somebody starts to tell me
Hmm.
how much less somebody is than somebody else, I kind of, I don't, I'm willing to pay for things that work. So then I took a demo and I'm looking at it, I go, okay, well, what about the importing of this? Oh, we don't do that. Well, what about that? Everything was, they had no bank connection. They had,
Hmm.
okay, so that software might be cheaper, but it doesn't connect to the bank accounts. It doesn't use the apps I'm used to using. So is it really cheaper? I'm going to spend, again, convenience costs money.
Hmm.
So I'm willing to spend the money because of the convenience. I mean, so
I
I'm
mean,
just not
here's a really great example out there in the world. So
okay.
Disneyland, Disneyland. I love them, right? So they
Right.
have these lightning lane things. They just introduced in October the lightning lane, I don't know,
Plus,
plus,
Premier,
premier,
Lightning Lane
premier
Premier.
plus, premier plus. You get you get to pretty much skip the lines on everything that has a lightning lane. Okay. And it's depending on which park you're in, it can be upwards of $500 for a day. Doesn't
One
include the
day.
park ticket. You have to have the park ticket. Doesn't include anything else. You get one ride per lightning lane. So you can't go like if you want to go on the Rise of the Resistance, you can only go once. You only get to skip the line once for one day. five hundred
I know.
dollars
I know.
in some parks.
I
Versus
read that
the other
yesterday.
way. Yeah, versus the other way, which I think is like $35 or something, where you have to then pick your times and you have to go through the system to pick your times. This one you can pick anytime you want. So again, convenience costs money a lot. Am I going to buy it? No.
No.
$500 for me to skip the lines on some place I go to 3 times a week. But
Now, if
every
one
once in a
now
while I do
it's
the other
like if
ones.
you buy okay, so you and I are going to Disney together, and
Hmm.
you go to Disneyland all the time, and this is my first time in Disneyland, for example, and I'm only going to have one day.
Hmm.
So if can I buy that ticket and you not buy the ticket if we're a group, or can only one
No,
person in the group?
every person has to have the ticket. So if you
Okay,
have
so but
family
if
of
you're not, if
four,
you don't want to ride the ride, so say
oh
I'm
yeah,
going to
no.
go on Space Mountain,
Mm-hmm,
and you don't need to go on it because you've been on it a million times.
mm-hmm.
Can I buy just the ticket and you not buy the ticket, or does everybody in my
Oh
group
no,
have to?
it's a single purchase.
Okay,
So yeah, no, single purchase. So like if somebody in the group wants to spend that money and go on all the rides without having to wait in the line, they can do that. Just
okay,
everyone else can't. Yep.
okay.
Not group related. Yeah, so the other one, I sometimes I buy the other one for the lightning lanes and we plan out our day if we want to ride all the rides in one day or we do going with a group, we may buy those, or if our family comes in, we often get them because we don't want to wait in long lines with the kids.
Because then you have to.
But
There's
it's
the
25
genie.
bucks. Yeah,
Well, there's Genie and then Genie Plus. The Genie Plus is the one that costs money.
the Genie plus Lightning and I don't know. You know what? That
And then you
Genie
got to
thing, I
buy, if
think.
you want to buy, then you can buy tickets.
Then there's the single rider ones. That's
Ugh.
for the resistance and for radiators, racers,
Now, do
whatever.
you have to buy those single ticket up charges to get on the ride, or can you still wait in the line?
No, you can wait in the line. You can always wait in what they call standby lines now.
Okay.
So yeah, you can always wait in the lines. They're okay. So it'll be interesting to see over the next few months how that goes. But again, you know, convenience costs money. This is a
That's right.
huge example of it, and I'm interested to see how they do on this. They say it's a pilot. I don't think it's going away.
I know because I read it
Yeah.
yesterday, and they're going to start it in Disney World, I think on October 31st.
Yeah, they started it in Disneyland already, I believe.
Yeah, I saw in Disneyland. I go,
Yeah.
oh, Donna's probably using it already.
Oh my God, no, I'm not paying $400. No way. What I hope it does, I mean, if that would be awesome if a ton of people bought that and they weren't in the lines, that would be awesome because the standby lines will get shorter. So it would be great because the standby lines, they still work them in because even though you get to skip the line, there's at one point where the lines merge. And like some of the rides, the lines merge pretty early on in the queue process. So everyone goes into it. So you have to pick and choose, but we'll see. We'll test it out. We'll see what goes on. But I just thought that was a prime example of convenience costs money at an extreme level, though. I think it's extreme.
I do too. I mean, just think if you're a family of four, that's another 2 grand.
Yep.
And what's a single ticket? Well, and you got to get the park hopper pass too, right?
Yeah. So if you get a single day ticket, I think is like 150 for one park. Then if
I
you're doing
know.
park hopper, it's I don't know how much more that costs.
Ugh.
Since I buy the keys, the magic keys, I don't know like
Was
what the
that
park.
is that like the annual pass?
Yeah, it's the annual pass. They call magic keys now. So we
Oh,
have
okay, because they
magic
had the Pixie
key.
one, and I mean, I used to
Yeah.
have annual passes to Disney, but then I moved to Port Orange, and it's an hour and a half to 2 hours to get there. I told Cindy Schrader because she lives in Disney's back door. If I were ever to move, I'm going to move near her so we can go to Disney every day
Yep.
because it's just such a happy place.
It is. You walk in there, it's just like happiness. As soon as you like
I know.
get in
I
there.
love it.
When we're going down the escalator and you can start to hear, I wish they had a music in the garages, but they don't. But you go down and you start to hear the music, it's like boom, happiness. Then you have to go through security. Sometimes that's not so happy, depending on how backed up it is.
Oh
And
yeah.
the grumpy security people, but they're mostly very nice. Um, but yeah, but you start to hear the music, whatever music it is. The other day we were going down the escalator and it was the Peter Pan music. And yeah, I'm like, oh, happiness. And then you go in and you walk under the bridge and it's like, oh, I can smell the happiness. My husband's all, nope, that's there's other smells in Disney that aren't always good because it's 1955 plumbing sometimes.
Well, I found it interesting in Frontierland. There's a big brown strip going down
Uh-huh.
the. You know what that's to replicate the sewage system in the colonial times.
Uh-huh.
Who would have thought that?
There's all kinds of little things in there.
I know all these. Yeah.
Yeah. All kinds of fun stuff. All right, let's see. Do I have anything else on my no, because it was just like a crazy week for us with
Oh, I
me
know. Donna
not
kept
talking.
texting me, "Are you back up live?" Nope, not back, not back. And then
She
I
just
come
got her
back.
internet like what, an hour before we went on. As soon as she
Yeah,
got her internet, we
I
went
got
on.
I they were out there digging in the dirt, and I said, "Okay, let's hope it keeps up." And I did get to watch, of course, I had to watch a couple TV shows. We did watch the new episode of Survivor this week.
Yep, that was
I
good.
I watched like Don, I watched it 2 times.
Had to watch it 2 times because it was a good one, in my opinion.
I mean, that girl was she was ready to punch him.
Oh
I
my
never seen
gosh,
I
yeah,
never
I
saw
know.
looks like that.
Yeah, she didn't even say good one, guys, like they usually do. She
No,
was
she
like,
she
she
just
was
said,
mad.
who are what did she say? Who is the
Who was
originator
it?
of
Yeah,
something like that?
yeah,
And the guy raised his hand. I'm
yep.
trying to figure out why he did it though. Why didn't he get that Andy out?
I like Andy.
Oh, he's a goof, that Andy.
I know. They call him the George Costanza of Survivor.
Oh, yeah.
He's just, I like him. He's
And
fun.
then House of Villains is on. That started up.
I have to I haven't watched that yet. So, but I understand.
Did you watch season 1?
Yeah, I've seen both seasons. There's
Well,
been
this is
two
the second
seasons.
season.
No, this is the third. Oh no, no,
No,
no.
that's
That's
Traitors. You're thinking of
Traitors.
Traitors.
Oh no, I haven't watched House of Villains yet. No.
Oh, you like House of Villains.
Yeah.
And Richard Hatch from Survivors on this season.
On House of Villains?
Yep.
Villains? Oh, okay. I thought he
Yep.
was on Traitors, but no, he's
No,
good
no.
for House of Villains. That
Yeah,
would be
so he's
good.
on House of Villains. It's all the
Yeah.
villains from all the reality shows.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they are really jerks.
They are nasty people. Yes, they are. I must agree. I don't ever want to be
I
in
just
rooms with
can't. I
them.
mean, that are so antithetical of what you and I talked about earlier about being kind to
Yes,
people.
they
I
are
would never
not.
make it on that show. You know.
No, not good at all. All right. So, let's see. Anything else? I think we covered everything that was
Yeah,
going
we've been
on. We're
on half
getting
an
caught
hour, so
up.
I think everybody's had
Yeah.
enough of us. So, but we should get back on a regular schedule
Yes. We
here
will definitely
shortly.
be on a regular schedule next week. And then during Intuit Connect, we're going to do some live streaming during that. We'll be busy out there talking to people, meeting up with people, and do some live streaming. For those of you who could not go, we'll try to bring some of the festivities of Intuit Connect to you.
Right. Oh, and
So,
when we did the episode with Alicia, which was
mm,
fabulous,
oh yes,
we are inviting guests on now because she was such a fabulous guest that we thought it would be fun if we could have guests come on. So if you have a group, a community, or whatever, what else, Donna?
yeah, just let us know. You
Just let
guys
us
know
know.
how
We
to
want to
reach
have you
us.
on so you can talk about what you're
Yeah,
doing, or if we see you around, we might ask you.
especially if
Yeah.
you're at Intuit Connect, we're going to be recruiting there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so
Now we
we'll
don't pay anything.
yeah, there's no pay. We're
There's no
not
pay.
charging
We're
you,
not
and you're not paying.
we
You
we
know,
don't pay ourselves. I mean, we
yeah.
just do this because we think it's fun.
This is a labor of love
Yeah.
for right now.
Yeah.
Maybe not forever, but for right now.
Yeah, we want to have 1 million subscribers. I watch a lot of channels that I have 3 million subscribers. And I thought one day, I think we're up to
One
88.
day
So
we
we
got
just need 12
88.
more to get to 100.
Yes, our goal is to get to 100 before Intuit Connect. So if you guys that was watching this, whether you're watching it now or you're on the rewatch crew or you're ninja watching, that's what I call everyone who doesn't hit in the chat. No one's in the chat anyways, so we're good. But if you're rewatching this, please send it out to people. Help us get at least to 100 before Intuit Connect next week. We really, of course, want to get much
Right.
higher. And yeah, we want 1 million subscribers, but who doesn't? But if
Right.
we can get people to watch it, help us out with getting
Right.
subscribers, liking, it will help our rhythm,
Right.
our analog go up. More people watch it, the better it is for our channel, and we can start
Great.
doing more things.
Great. All right.
All
So we'll
right.
see you next time.
All right. Well, bye everyone. Hang on a moment.